Are Bonnie and Clyde still living the thug life? Or have they decided to settle down in the suburbs and raise 2.5 children? Will these two lovely ladies remain single, or have they started looking for love in all the wrong places? Is David treating his 3 sister wives well, or has he become a jerk? Find out today in the latest episode of As the Quail Turns. What's going on, chicken friends? It's Donna Little from the Coop Scoop. And no, my quail don't actually have names, but I thought it might be a little easier for you guys to identify who I'm talking about. And if you haven't seen any of my previous quail videos, go back and check those out, because in the last video, and I may have even mentioned it in a couple of shorts, I had to separate most of them into different areas because of the aggression and they weren't getting along. So I'm going to start with Bonnie and Clyde. Now, like any good gang members, these two have completely taken over the aviary. They own the whole hood, basically down here, and they are happy. And I do believe that they have decided to settle down into blissful suburban life. Who knows, maybe they will raise a couple of kids, but they're homeowners now and they are doing fantastic. They're very, very happy, and there's no more craziness, no more aggression, no more, constant chasing and nonstop breeding. And he's a great little husband now, is what I'm trying to say. Now, the 2 little spinsters up here, they have chosen to stay spinsters. They do not want any part of looking for love. They are not going to be on any dating apps anytime soon because they want to be single. They are all the single ladies. This one, we originally, let's see if I can turn this around a little bit. You're not going to be able to see her anyway, but I kind of took a poll because I could not tell if it was a roo or a hen, and I did it in a short. So maybe you guys saw that, where I asked, quail people, what do you think? Is this a hen or a roo? Because at probably 13 weeks old, she was still not either crowing or laying eggs. And I have read that it could take up to 12 weeks for them to start laying eggs, but normally it's by about 8 weeks. And I was like, we are past that, folks. What is the deal? And everybody kind of guessed that this was a roo, and I thought it was a roo also. And then it was literally like the next day or a couple days later that it was a little longer than that. She finally laid her first egg. So I'm like, okay, thank you. I have, I actually thought I had 3 roosters, and so I'm really glad that it wasn't a roo. This little lady over here has been consistently laying eggs, but one thing that I've definitely learned is even if they seem calm, anytime you make a change, it stresses them out. So she was down here in the aviary. She was down here in the aviary, and Bonnie and Clyde said, we're not sharing. We want this place to ourselves. Get out. And so I had to put them up here. They don't get along with each other, so I can't leave them together. So this hutch right here is separated into 2 sides. Well, as soon as I put her up, and she was already laying eggs, when I put her up here, she stopped laying, probably for about 10 days. And then she settled in and decided nothing horrible had happened in her life, and she is laying eggs again. But when this one finally laid her first egg, it was bigger than the other quail's eggs. And I was like, oh, okay, so maybe that's why she's been cooking that one in there and growing herself an extra large egg. But then she didn't lay another egg. And the day after, so I don't know, this may have been my fault. The day after she laid, I thought to myself, if they stay here, they're never going to have fertilized eggs. Let me just see if I can put them back down in there in the aviary with Bonnie and Clyde and see if they can maybe form a nice little happy family, since both of them, have reached, definitely are in sexual maturity. So I put them down the day after she laid her first egg, and I didn't really think it would go well, and it didn't. The second that her feet hit the floor, little Clyde down here mounted her. She was a virgin. She is not anymore. So she was absolutely mortified and immediately started running. The hen started chasing this one, so it just was within 5 minutes. It was pure chaos. So put them back into their places, into their little single homes, and little Miss Thing here started acting the next day like she didn't feel good. And I thought, what in the world, and I kind of just chalked it up to stress. I was like, maybe that little 5 minutes down in the aviary, totally freaked her out. And she's having to process the, violation and everything. Well, the next day, she really acted like she didn't feel good. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. So I'm getting a little concerned. And then I realized as I was just standing there watching her that there was no poop in there. And I was like, okay, is there a possibility that this little girl has become egg bound that quickly? Like she's only laid one egg. So I took her out and I soaked her in Epsom salt. Now, if any of you have any experience with chickens and you most of the time have to soak one in Epsom salt if they're egg bound, they kind of just settle into it and sort of seem like they enjoy it. Not that one. She was not. She was fighting me like her life depended on it. And I felt really bad because I thought I'm probably stressing her out even more. But if she's egg bound, like she has to poop. So I soaked her for about 15 minutes, got her dried off, put her back in there. She was not eating. She was not drinking. So a little later that day, I gave her some egg yolk. And then she did poop a little bit, but it was very runny. And I was like, okay, is it only runny because she's not really eating food? She's just eating some egg yolk. I don't know. So I think it was first thing the next morning, I soaked her again because there was still very, very little poop in there. And after that, I gave her some more egg yolk, and then that seemed to stimulate her appetite, and she started eating again and started drinking again and seemed to be doing really, really well again. And since then, she has been perfectly fine, but there was no eggs. So I don't know why she was not pooping. I don't know why she wasn't eating. I don't know. But back to normal now. And then finally, day before yesterday, she laid her second egg. And it is, I've got it right here, so much bigger. I don't know if you can tell how much bigger this is than the average size quail egg, but it's also, it looks like it's been sitting in there for a while cooking. I don't know. It looks like it's been baked, but it's so big compared to her body size. So I thought, I hope that doesn't continue to happen. I mean, so that was maybe 2 or 3 days ago. So yesterday she laid another egg and it was almost the same size. So I don't know, poor little thing. I mean, I don't think I'd want to lay eggs either if my body was this big and my egg was that big. I don't know. But she does seem to be doing well. This one, has gone right back to laying, but they have definitely chosen to live the single life. Now, I only called him David because that's the husband's name in Sister Wives. But little guy down here, he is a perfect gentleman with his ladies, and the three of them are doing well. But for the longest time, I was only getting one egg from these three hens that are in here. And I'm like, why? Why are my quail broken? What is going on here? They are 17 weeks old. Yes, 17 weeks old. Why am I not getting eggs? If some of them are laying, then obviously the conditions are right for laying. I don't know. But yesterday, for the first time, one of the other ones laid an egg in here. So fortunately, or hopefully, I should say, I'm going to start getting at least 2 eggs out of there from these guys. But they're all living their perfect little life of bliss, too. They get along really, really well. So as it stands right now, everybody is happy being separated in the manner that they are separated, and they are hopefully going to start, maybe the last one will start laying eggs, but from here forward, we are just waiting for it to cool down a little bit more. And if you did miss my last video about it, what we're going to do is we're going to just, from here forward, we're going to order, when the weather, like I said, cools down a little bit, we're going to order some jumbo Coturnix quail eggs. And we're just going to start raising those. So I am looking forward to that. I hope you guys are enjoying our content. And if you are, hit the subscribe button and notification bell, because I would love for you to come along with us while we incubate and hatch our first set of eggs when the time comes, because I am looking forward to that. We have never done that before, and I am excited to get that started. And I will keep you updated on our lovely ladies out here and our little 13-week, they're about to turn 13-week-old pullets out there. So stick around, guys. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next video.